What's up, A to Z Sports Titan Game Day Live. It's been a jam-packed day leading up to Thursday Night Football as the Titans host the Cowboys. We've had a busy day of a lot of news, a lot of things happening when it comes to the Tennessee Titans, the roster as a whole, a new quarterback as Josh Dobbs is making his first career start as an NFL quarterback in the stadium where he had his last collegiate start 6 years and 1 day ago. So pretty crazy of how all this comes full circle, but former ball quarterback Josh Dobbs starting tonight for the Tennessee Titans as they host the Cowboys. The Cowboys, a big favorite with a lot of other Titans players out and more roster moves to discuss. So we're going to react to all of this, what it means for Dobbs, what it means for Malik Willis, what it means about Ryan Tannehill moving forward, and the rest of the roster and the guys that are not out there tonight for the Tennessee Titans. But Zach, welcome in. We're going to have a big time show and a big time night for our Titan Game Day Live pregame, halftime, and postgame show here streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. This is the Buddy Allen Carpet One pregame show. Buddy Allen Carpet One always gives you free in-home measures, estimates, and more at BuddyAllenCarpet1Nashville.com. Mr. Good Roof, you go to MrGoodRoof.com. You have a free estimate on your roof. Then you mention A to Z Sports for a $500 discount on a full roof replacement. Barton Insurance Group, Middle Tennessee's premier insurance provider for both personal, home, and auto coverage, plus small to mid-sized businesses. Barton Insurance Group, LLC.com. Crumble cookies made fresh every day. Download that Crumble Cookie app. And BetMGM, download the app and use our code ATOZ Sports to get a risk-free bet on pro football up to $1,000. It's a 14-point spread, so the spread has grown even more since our joint morning show. We will steal of A to Z Dallas this morning, Zach, but welcome in. And we've got a lot of things that have happened since we signed off at around 9:30 Central Time this morning.
Yeah, I'll just go ahead and say, and I'll wait for tomorrow morning show at 8 a.m., and I'm going to officially get a white flag for the Tennessee Titans because it seemed like they are waving that thing all day today, hour after hour, after hour after hour. More news would come out, wave the white flag. More news, wave the white flag. This season has turned into an abomination of what has happened and what it represented when they were once 7-3. So many things have gone on, and they're about to go into a primetime game where I never think I've ever said this, but poor Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit, God bless them, because all we're going to hear is how injured I felt like maybe they did all this stuff before the game to get some pity on national television to say how injured the Titans and what their season has represented of the ups and downs and how unique it was. And then dating back to last season's injury and how they're just in a state of disarray, from DUI Downing to firing, John Robinson, to all of these things happening. Ryan Tannehill getting hurt, and then the news coming out today. And Austin, I just want to say, this is an indictment on your third round pick at quarterback to bench him for a practice squad guy that you picked up from the Detroit Lions practice squad 1 week ago. You don't have enough faith in a guy who's been in your system, in your building for 8 months, that you would rather go get a guy off the street. Yeah. That's how I see it.
Well, and let's just flat out say this. Malik Willis was benched tonight versus the Dallas Cowboys because when the move came out, around 11 o'clock this morning, the first thought was, okay, the Titans are going to save Malik Willis to start against the Jags so he doesn't get hurt against the Cowboys with no offensive line, right? That was a thought going around.
I never thought that.
I'm not saying you did, Zach. I'm just saying that was a thought that was being discussed around social media and on radio, whatever it was. That was a thought there, but no, Malik Willis got benched. The Titans did not like what they saw from Malik Willis, against the Houston Texans last week on Christmas Eve. And then, Zach, Ryan Tannehill officially goes on injured reserve because we've been waiting for this. Paul Kaharski reported a little over a week ago that Tannehill was not likely or very likely to be out for the season. And we both thought, Zach, that Ryan Tannehill and the Titans would try to wait as long as they possibly could for Tannehill to play week 18 against the Jags. But no, he is done as the Titans officially put Ryan Tannehill on injured reserve, along with edge rusher Bud Dupree and inside linebacker Zach Cunningham, who re-injured that elbow last week against the Texans about 2 plays after he dropped a potential pick six there from Davis Mills. But it gets worse because Tannehill is out for that year or for the year. So now you've got Josh Dobbs making his first career start and Malik Willis. I don't know if he's searching for answers or what he's thinking and how blessed he feels right now because he lost his job real quick.
Yeah, and he lost his job after being in a system for so long and going through training camp. I think that's my problem. It's not about injury. I never once thought that they were saving him for Jacksonville. He's a young player. He's in his young 20s. He needs the game experience. He has to have the game experience. But the Titans have decided that he is not worthy of the game experience. And I think, again, that is eye-opening of the state of this franchise, of how far things have fallen. Derrick Henry's not playing tonight because they don't want to get him hurt to possibly beat Jacksonville. Jeffrey Simmons is not playing tonight because they don't want to get him hurt so he could play at Jacksonville. But Malik Willis is not playing tonight because I don't think Malik Willis is very good. And I don't think the Titans think that Malik Willis is very good at this point.
Yeah.
He's got a long, but that's why I said at this point in time. But Austin, don't you think that that's something that you have a guy who's been in and out of meeting rooms, in and out of learning under Todd Downing, who's going to be calling the plays tonight, and now they would rather have a guy off the street that has been in Detroit and a bunch of different places and have him start? Maybe this is the Baker Mayfield movement, because I don't think that this happens maybe a few years ago, but Baker came in there and he did it in LA a couple of weeks ago in prime time. Maybe they're going to see if Joshua Dobbs can.
Yeah, I mean, like,
what's the mindset here, though?
The mindset is they believe Josh Dobbs knows how to play NFL quarterback better than Malik Willis right now. And the ironic thing is that Malik Willis has more career passing yards in his NFL career than Josh Dobbs does, because Josh Dobbs has not made a start since he's been in the league since 2017. And he's bounced around. He hasn't played in a game, Zach, since January, like 3rd or 4th of 2020. So it's almost been
you can't scream experience. Oh, well, Dobbs has the experience. That's why we want him.
Well, it's an
experiment.
Yeah, it is an experiment.
It's a complete experiment. And Austin, at this point in the season, if you are throwing out, I'll use a scientific term, if you're pulling out beakers to do experiments, you got problems, pal. You're everything's on the line, and you got to get better. And your 3rd round pick that you took a flyer on and a draft pick to say, hey, look, maybe this guy can be the guy, you're not willing to put him in the test tube.
Well, and here's the weird thing, Zach, because earlier today I learned that Josh Dobbs has known he's going to start this game for several days. This wasn't just a move on a whim or anything. Josh Dobbs has known he's starting this game pre-Christmas, and the Titans' last game was Christmas Eve. So Josh Dobbs is known for several days, 4 or 5 days, that this is his offense tonight. And what does it look like? I don't know, because Ethan Ramsey asks, is Treylon Burks playing? Yeah, Treylon Burks is playing. Somebody asked, is Derrick Henry is out? Yeah, so we'll show the inactives today for the Titans, because they're missing a lot of guys. Derrick Henry out, Christian Fulton out. They were both doubtful for this game. Danico Autry is out. He was doubtful for this game. They'd already ruled out Jeffrey Simmons, NPF, Dylan Cole, Amani Hooker, and Josh Thompson prior to the inactive report that came out today. But yeah, Josh Dobbs, I don't know. He's handing off the ball to Hassan Haskins, and they've got Julius Chestnut back there, and the running back they just added today. Another thing, Zach, I mentioned this morning on our multi-stream show with Will from A to Z Dallas that 22 of the Titans' 53-man roster was from their practice squad or somebody else's practice squad. Well, the Titans just added 3 more guys from the practice squad to make that number 25 after they put Tannehill, Dupree, and Cunningham on IR today. Here's to make it worse. They did elevate 2 other players from the practice squad too. So a lot of guys are out, but this is what's sad, Zach. NFL teams are allowed to suit up and dress out 48 players for a game. The Titans chose to dress out 47. They don't even have 48 guys that they feel like can wear a jersey.
Austin, I do think in like somewhere deep down, I think that this is like somewhat of a PR stunt of like, we don't have enough players. Take a look at our season. This is what we've been dealing with. We fired our general manager. We've lost 5 in a row, about to be 6. Like I do think that this is, and I don't know what kind of approach this is, but I do think that that's what is going to be talked about in front of, there's not going to be as many millions of people, but they're playing the Dallas freaking Cowboys. There's going to be eyes on this TV tonight.
Oh, yeah.
So I do think that it's some sort of, maybe throwing out to the public of like, take a look at our season. Al, Kirk, just kind of recap what we've been through over the last several weeks from going from 7-3 to essentially giving up on the season. Cause that's what all these moves I feel like.
Yeah. So Major Keeves get on YouTube gives Sam some lunch money. He says, I think they're saving Malik for Jacksonville and playoffs because Tannehill is officially on IR. And Major Keeves, if you jumped in after I mentioned it, no, that's not the case. That was some speculation earlier on in the day, but I talked and had some conversations and it was learned. And I saw several people in Titans media tweet out and report, not speculate, but report that no, Malik Willis got benched. The Titans did not like what they saw from Malik Willis, and he got benched. And Zach, when I saw that and learned that, one thing came to my mind. It was after one of the preseason games, which this is basically the 4th preseason game tonight, but after one of the preseason games, when Mike Vrabel was asked, why did you pull Malik Willis after that first drive in the second half? And Vrabel said something along the lines of, because he wouldn't throw the ball. Is that, Mike Vrabel does not want to see Malik Willis go out there anymore and not run the offense and not pull the trigger on throws that need to be made that the offense is setting him up to make. And it's been going on since August and before then. And I guess it happened throughout his several opportunities this season, but he's not throwing the football on time, on schedule, and he's making other people look bad because he's not getting rid of the football.
And, they fired the general manager who drafted him because my response would be, well, they drafted him, right? Like you sit there and they picked him. He's a hand-picked guy.
But again,
they didn't have to take him.
But right, they didn't have to, but why did they? Because they had 2 third-round picks, and Malik Willis, who is very talented, fell to the 3rd round at 86. And John Robinson at the time said, we felt like that was a good value pick where, look, missing out on a 3rd-round quarterback is not the end of the world. It's not going to burn you. Other things burn John Robinson. Malik Willis was not one of the 11 dominoes plus A.J. Brown nail in the coffin things that burned John Robinson. He was not a part of that. This was a gamble.
Well, no, Austin, I don't think you can sit here and say that because inside the building, they knew what speed Malik Willis was learning at, what pace he was at.
Yeah.
You and I may not know the full state because we're not in those meeting rooms. Nobody's in those meeting rooms. So I don't think you can fully say that. They could have been a part of the firing because he picked a 3rd-round guy. It just had a disastrous, you talk about value. You got 0 value for A.J. Brown for what that's worth. And then he goes and picks a quarterback for the 3rd time in the draft. The first 2 have been bustolas. They were late-round picks, but they were cut. Before they were cut. Yeah. They literally didn't even make the roster. And now you've got Malik Willis, Austin, and the coaching staff has benched him in a premier spot for him to play. Like the stars had to have aligned. We talked about this at the beginning of the year for Malik Willis to play. Well, Austin, the stars somehow weirdly aligned and they said, nope, we don't want that. We'd rather pull Dobbs, who has very little experience and never started an NFL game, off the Detroit Lions practice squad and throw his ass out there in front of this Scotch tape. I thought chewing gum is less effective. I saw that the last time. I asked for it, and I credit to whoever in the chat. This is bubble gummed together, right? You sit there and you eat some gum and then you try to like stick a hole. Like you talk about Vegas vacation, bait.
It is not free candy.
It pops back out, right? So It's scotch taped together, but they'd rather throw Josh Dobbs out there than have their third-round pick get some huge reps.
Yeah, it's definitely strange. And we'll talk about that, I'm sure, tomorrow once we get to react to that. But let's talk about tonight's game. This is an interesting situation here, but what do you expect to see from Josh Dobbs tonight as the Titans quarterback? What do you expect to see from Josh Dobbs tonight as the Titans quarterback here live on the Buddy Allen Carpet One pregame show for Titan Game Day Live? Let me tell you guys more about Buddy Allen Carpet One, Nashville.com. They give you free in-home measures and estimates for all of your flooring needs, not just carpet, whatever you need from your flooring. And Buddy Allen Carpet One is locally owned and operated by the Allen family. They have been for over 55 years. You walk into their store in Donaldson and you see Zach, Jen, and Judson Allen in the store every day. Again, I mentioned the free in-home measures and estimates for all of your flooring needs. Buddy Allen Carpet One is a full-service flooring company. That means you save money because they have the product and they have the certified, experienced installers to do the job all-encompassing. They don't have to go outside of their walls at Buddy Allen Carpet One to find extra help for that job. It's all about them saving you money, giving you experienced, certified installers and work and great product. Check them out, Buddy Allen Carpet One, Nashville.com. Zach, I asked you in the chat, what do you expect to see from Josh Dobbs tonight as Titans starting quarterback, making his first career start in the NFL? His first start in a meaningful game since December 30th, 2016 in Nissan Stadium as the Vols beat Nebraska in the Music City Bowl. So 6 years and a day off of his last meaningful start, Zach.
Yeah, that's wild.
And you could argue that meaning in the Music City Bowl in 2016.
And they went up against two Nebraska backup quarterbacks. I remember.
And Josh Dobbs had himself a day. Like he had like 5 touchdowns and he had a nice day. Yeah.
So Connor Kills says, and he agrees with you. He says, but Malik Willis is running a Ryan Tannehill playbook. Todd Downing can't scheme up a series of plays for his strength. This is on the coaching just as much. I mean, there's tons of blame all around. So I think that's fair. Mr. Jones expects fireworks. And I don't think that they're coming for the Titans sidelines. I don't think it's from a bunch of scores. So Jody says, my fourth rebuild might be time. I mean, that's sure what it feels like as it's trending there. I expect to see scrambling from Jonathan, interceptions from Eric, interceptions, sacks, and a big L. Dirk says Dobbs reminds him of Vince Young or Marcus Mariota, which I think that's more of just like the ceiling of like not being good enough. More than 100 passing yards because Malik Willis doing 99. Can Josh Dobbs have more passing yards?
I'd say yes.
Seneca says some good, some bad. Jared says pick 6, no turnovers from Jonathan. A sacrificial lamb from Ethan, injury from Jody. Man, I mean, these are really tough. What do you expect from Dobbs? I want to read this one thing. Mm-hmm. Mike Peck calls his shot and says 9 for 21, 137, 0 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions.
I think Josh Dobbs has over 150 passing yards tonight. And I think it's more about what else are they going to do?
Yeah.
Like the game's going to be not close. Are they going to give Hassan Haskins 25 carries tonight? Or Julius Chestnut? Or Jonathan Ward, who Jonathan Ward, that might be the right. Yeah, Jonathan Ward. That's the running back they've signed up today. So, I don't know. I don't expect much from the offense. I do expect I expect one exciting touchdown scored via Josh Dobbs something. I think there's one play that it's either a deep ball, a throw with a big run, himself with his legs. I expect just one Josh Dobbs play that makes you go, oh, that was fun. And then that's it. Because I don't know if you saw this, but it's raining again in Nashville. So it's 60 degrees-ish, but it's raining now. So it's going to be sloppy. But I got one exciting play that ends up in a Titans score from Josh Dobbs tonight.
What's 1 + 4?
5.
That's how many sacks I expect. That's what I expect. I think Josh Dobbs is going to get sacked 5 times. And I'm just being realistic. That's just what I believe. And I think this is going to be a bloodbath. a murder, guillotine, however you want to call it. This is going to be a slaughtering, and it's going to be on national television. And look, the Titans have kind of peeled back to say, well, we're not playing all of our guys. We're kind of treating this as a preseason game because it's meaningless. Just so happens it falls on Thursday night, and they schedule these games way in advance. So it's not the NFL's fault. It's just what it is. And the Titans aren't going to play at full force because they don't need to. They're going to try to do that next week. And then, Austin, this is what we're going to talk about tomorrow and all of next week, Monday or, Monday through Friday, whatever, is we're going to be talking about what is a better option for the future of the Tennessee Titans, losing to the Jacksonville Jaguars or winning against the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah.
And so, Mike Vrabel doesn't play to lose. That is not Mike Vrabel's style. He never would do that.
I think the reason why Josh Dobbs is starting tonight is because Mike Vrabel wants to win the game.
But that's wild to me.
It is. I agree.
That doesn't make any logical sense when you've had a guy in your system for 8 months that you drafted. Mike Vrabel had something, I'm not saying all, but something to do with drafting Malik Willis. You don't think that he wasn't in the room? Like, he was in the room, he was in the war room talking to John Robinson when he made that pick. If Mike Vrabel hated that pick so effing bad, he would have said, John, I can't do it. I don't want to do it. We're not doing it. You traded away AJ. You're not going to put this quarterback on me. He didn't do that. So some of this is on Mike Vrabel because 8 months later, you got Todd Downing, who's horrendous, and you got Malik Willis, who the coaching staff and the powers that be don't even feel that he is adequate enough to play in a game that is set up for him. It's not set up perfectly because the offensive line and the state of the offense and all of that. But at least he can get, if he's not pulling the trigger, he's not going to be pulling the trigger because he's on the sidelines in a ball cap.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So I want to get to two guys that I want to see what they look like for the Titans in this offense with, I think, a quarterback in Josh Dobbs who is more willing to push the ball down the field through the air than Malik Willis. And that leads us to who's got the goods. It might not be a good matchup, but it's an interesting matchup that I'm looking for tonight against the Dallas Cowboys. So who's got the goods, presented by Mr. Good Roof, who specializes in roofing, gutters, windows, and more. Fully insured, licensed, and bonded, locally owned in the Middle Tennessee area for over 20 years. Here's what you got to do. For free, you go to MrGoodRoof.com, have them come out to your home, free estimate on your roof. If nothing's wrong, great. You create a relationship and you had a good time there. But if they do need to do something, you mention A to Z Sports and they'll give you a $500 discount on a full roof replacement. Storms happen. We know it, especially in Middle Tennessee. Absolutely. So head to MrGoodRoof.com for who's got the goods. Zach, I want to see Chig and Burks if they can take advantage of a couple opportunities down the field because the Titans are going to be trailing. They're going to have to throw the football. So can they create some type of just one-on-one in-space chance for Treylon Burks or Chig Okonkwo to go make a play on the football to give this fan base some type of hope that they've got some rookie talent that they can bank on for the future?
No, I think that's fair for what the segment represents. It's who's got the goods. Nobody's got the goods tonight, but if any guy on offense is going to have the goods, it will be Chig and Treylon Burks. It's just, will Dobbs be able to do that? He's going to take, I think Dobbs, if Malik Willis is not going to throw the football, Dobbs is going to have to, right? He's going to use his athleticism. He's going to use his smarts and his intelligence for at least a week of trying to understand what they're trying to do and give them an opportunity. And, I want to say this before this game. This is not a great look for the Tennessee Titans at getting more primetime games in the future because the NFL, they're kind of making a mockery of it.
Well, the Denver Broncos have been on primetime like 3 times as many times. They're
right, but Denver is a bigger market team, like with a star quarterback. I'm not saying that he plays like a star, and look, Russell Wilson got that very wrong at the beginning of the season, but this is not a great showing for the Titans. Now, look, we all Vegas expects this to be a 2-score game, right? What's the line?
14.
Yeah, it's moved up to 14. Jeez.
The biggest home underdog in Thursday Night Football history right now.
Well, their two best players, Jeffrey Simmons and Derrick Henry, aren't playing. So that, and their starting quarterback, more importantly, right? Like that, the quarterback situation is key to this.
And their offensive line, because now they have Dennis Daly as the only person who has been I guess Aaron Brewer's playing tonight. So, you got Aaron Brewer and Daly at your left side that's intact and has been the left side since week 2, but it's still bad.
This is hilarious. I'm getting texts I officiated my cousin's wedding. I'm getting texts from people in Texas saying, you Titans better eat their Wheaties tonight. Like, I mean, everybody knows that the Titans are about to get smashed. And I think as a fan base, that should tick you off a little bit, right? Of how far that this franchise has fallen in just a short amount of time, Austin. I feel like I can't get over that. 7-3 to this. 5 straight, about to be 6. Like it's embarrassing to the Titans. Like, what does Amy Adams-Strunk feel like? Or do you feel like Amy Adams-Strunk gave up on the season the second she got rid of John Robinson? I don't think she thought this was going to happen.
And there's a bigger conversation we're going to have in the offseason on the injuries. And I have some ideas, Zach, on how to get to the bottom of the Titans injuries over the last couple of years. But we do have to do this. We have to predict the game. It's presented by BetMGM. And I mentioned this, the Cowboys -14 on the BetMGM app. So what is your official pregame prediction? Just a couple minutes away from kickoff at Nissan Stadium between the Titans and the Cowboys. Cowboys -14. What is your official pregame prediction presented by BetMGM? Download the BetMGM app. Use our code ATOZ Sports, and that gives you a risk-free bet on pro football up to $1,000. Would you play the spread? Do you think the Titans can cover the 14? Like I said earlier, the biggest home underdog in Thursday Night Football history. So pregame predictions here. What's the score prediction? Zach, I'll send you to the chat here as we have a couple minutes left before kickoff officially.
Got some big scores. 42-3 Cowboys. Bryce 35-9, 27-13 Billy, 50-3 Dallas, 51-9, 62-0, 23-2, 38-0, 42-3. These are all Cowboys, by the way. Cowboys right. 55, Titans 0. You hope that it doesn't turn into that New England game, 59-0. 53-3 Cowgirls from Guy, 42-10. A to Z Sports Dallas would be loving this if this was a multi-stream show. Cowboys by 30, 34-10 Dallas, 28-21 Titans. This is what I think the score will be. I think it will be 31-10. I think that makes the most sense to me. The Titans score one touchdown, whether they backdoor it at the end or score in the first half. Look, I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe it starts out, a 10-3 game, but the Dallas Cowboys are going to score 30 points. I can tell you that.
It is pouring down rain.
Dallas Cowboys are going to score 30 points.
That grass is slippery.
Dallas Cowboys are going to score 30 points.
Yeah.
31-10.
31-10. I'm going to go 31-13. And that's 2 Titans touchdowns and a missed extra point. Just because. 31-13 is the final score, in my opinion.
I should have done 31-15. 5 field goals.
No, they're not kicking field goals in this weather. Look at it. The Cowboys do get the ball to start this game. We appreciate everybody here watching. We'll be back for our halftime show. Got to thank our great sponsors of our Titan Game Day Live on the way out. This has been the Buddy Allen Carpet One pregame show. Buddy Allen Carpet One Nashville.com. Mr. Goodroof, Barton Insurance Group, Crumble Cookies, and BetMGM. We will see you guys at halftime. Enjoy the first half as much as possible. Talk to you soon.